Hey, just check. Let me try that again. Check. Let me try that again times two. Trying out the mic. All right, cool. Okay, I'll be back in like 3 minutes. Check out our intro scene that I built in 35 seconds. Okay, I'll be back in like 3 minutes. All right, first thing. Check out our intro scene that I built in 35 seconds. Okay, what you just heard there was Puzzle scurrying around the living room. So let me go get him settled. Okay, what you just heard there was Puzzle scurrying around. And then we'll get started. Be right back. Let me go get him settled. Hey, you okay? Puzzle, do you want to eat? Come here. Come on. let me just make sure that the scene transitions. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, great. Alright, be back in a moment. Okay. Oh, Asa just started hosting. Thank you, for that. This is a PS3 controller. Why am I holding that? Actually, that might be a clue for what we're gonna stream next. Maybe. Alright, so, we got 2 battles left. I already defeated Kuja. We kind of cheesed our way through. I really don't care. I'm ready to move on to the next. I love this game, but I was mostly just playing this for the podcast, and for us to kind of, you know, screw around on the stream. So, yeah. And we had a new intro page that I'm going to work on this weekend. I kind of didn't realize it was so easy to do it. So, I'll play around with that. Alright, so... conveniently, there'd be a place to save and use the tent right beforehand. Which is cool. So we go forward. Oh yeah, Deaf Guys was what we beat. It wasn't actually Kuja. I like the way those clouds look in the back. Alright, so I made a decision the other day that we're just gonna cheese this so that we can finish it. I don't know. I'm ready to move on to murder rating script for the podcast and whatnot, so we're just gonna kinda get out of here. And then we'll talk about our next game. Oh, jeez, Dagger. Dude. Can I just say, in all 3 of my playthroughs of this game, that Dagger has not been good? I have a real vivid memory of both end battles. Both times I've gone through this game where she was just kind of instantly dead and then not much to do with her. Oh, damn. Alright, so here's what we'll do. We will use Freya. Oh, does he have reflect on? Oh, crap. Okay, fine. Holy crap. Whoa. Okay, we might have to try this again. Wow. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to try again. Or maybe not. Or maybe. And now we gotta kill Freya. Wow. Okay. This is tough. Alright, we're definitely cheesing our way through this. I'm probably not totally set up right for this, because I was mostly playing through just to get notes for the podcast. Alright, let's do this. And we'd said we were going to turn on 9999 just to kind of get through this. Yeah, Dagger's not even worth reviving. You're just wasting turns. I've always had problems with getting her properly leveled up. I love Reese's Wind. Oh, why am I even doing that? Just hit him. Oh, geez, Kuja's so fast. Oh, man. Dude. No! Oh, no! Okay. Alright, we need to reload. Load game. Alright. Select party members. And Steiner goes down too. Great. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. I forgot to turn 9999 on. Damn it. Man, this stream is not going well. Whoa, it missed Freya. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, just leave Steiner dead. See, I think my screw up was I never really grinded all that much, so my characters are not leveled up right. And Kuja is so fast. Oh, Sarah's hosting now. Thank you, Sarah. And Freya's dead. Come on, hurry up, active time bar. That's gonna kill Vivi, yep. Jeez. And he gets to do Holy again, wow. Did I beat him? Oh, no! Oh, wait, no, never mind. Maybe? Oh. I like how, Aramont is lounging even when he's knocked out. Look at him. And I have to say, too, the, one of the things that we really need to offer some praise to, Square for is the graphics are so much better in this. I was watching a stream of this game yesterday, before my stream started. There really wasn't much on, so somebody was doing I guess it was like a let's play, and they were playing on the PS1, and man, it did not look good. And then to the dark side. Yeah, Zidane, what the heck are you talking about is a good summation of a lot of the bad guys, big bads of this game. Oh, like those baddies in Mass Effect. Man, if we start with 1 hit point, that's gonna totally suck. Oh, good. It does recharge you. Okay, great. Um... What the hell? Why not? Here we go. Now, if you're wondering, you know, in a world where this thing exists to, like, you know, destroy everything if it gets too big or good or whatever, you know, what the meaning of life is, yeah, you know, sure. And this game is, very, very heavily influenced, I think, by, Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think there's a lot of stuff on disc 3 that is really, really heavily influenced by it. And these kind of existential questions of existence and whatnot. Oh, wow. Screw it. We're just gonna keep hitting it. I think we just killed it. Nice. Oh, I didn't have to hit X there. Hold on. Yeah. That's what they all say. But wait, there's more. And in a pretty long ending. So Ray beams in. And hey, it's Beatrix. I really wish he could use Beatrix more in this game than he can. Hey, new viewers. We're just wrapping up Final Fantasy IX. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, we're just finishing up. We're in the middle of the ending. This is actually a pretty long ending. It's probably about 20 minutes. Yeah, I have to say, as I was saying earlier, these cutscenes look so much better in the PS4 remaster than they do on the PS1. I was watching somebody live stream yesterday from the PS1, and man, PS1 graphics don't hold up very well. And so Sid, who is not an Oglop or a frog anymore, and everybody goes to get on board, but then Swerve, our big bad brother of Zidane, starts telepathically trying to catch up with him. And Dagger's like, that's really stupid. Why are you... You know, and of course he's gonna go chase him down. And we get to see, I think for the final time, Steiner do that hand gesture, which... Wow. Let's just stare at this for a couple seconds here. Of Steiner just... What are you doing, man? And why do you have no armor at your elbows? I never noticed that before. He's got gloves and then like kind of bracelet things and then nothing until his shoulders. Yeah, Beatrix is going to take care of him later. Yeah, so Kuj is hanging on for life, and Zidane's going to go chase him down. And so what we missed, and stuff that happened when we weren't streaming, is it turns out, you know, Zidane is from the kind of other world, and he was actually sent first by Garland to destroy this world, and he didn't, so Kuja was then sent. So they're like sort of brothers. And yeah, PS1 is great. We're gonna have, once this ending's over, we're gonna have a streaming announcement that is related to the PS1. Yeah, so a big theme in this game is all these characters have to kind of face up to, who they are as people. Vivi has to, figure out what being a black mage means. He doesn't think it's a big deal, but whatever. And Steiner has to develop as a person. Freya kind of has to grow up too a bit and go find her love. And Dagger has to become more than just a princess who's just kind of an accessory to everyone. She becomes a fully developed person. And then Zidane has to kind of figure out, what the hell he is. And as I said, during the last boss fight, when Necro was giving us the usual boss fight, taunts. If you think the plot is pretty cool in this game, and I would argue that it is, the anime series to check out is Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I think this game... So Evangelion was like 96, 97-ish, and this game's a couple years after. This game's like 2000. I think a lot of, particularly the last couple of episodes of Neon Genesis Evangelion, the last two in particular, which are very controversial, I think they're brilliant, but whatever. And I think they very heavily, whether intended or not, are an influence. In this game. That I saw at the time, and was just like, oh wow, cool. And now, playing this, many, many years later, man, you really see it. And honestly, another big influence on this game is Shakespeare. There are so many Shakespeare references throughout this game, particularly to King Lear. And to drama in general, the Ibsen thing is, that's got to be a reference to Ibsen, the Norwegian playwright, kind of founder maybe of modernism. Yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion is definitely very worth checking out. There was just a podcast series, Matthew J., who's on Talking Simpsons and some other podcasts like that, just did a series about Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think it's only on his Patreon, though. I didn't check it out yet. But, yeah, it's a lovely series. Unfortunately, it's fairly out of print, the original episodic version. Yeah, and one of the big things with Zidane, and Freya's kind of inferring it there, is Zidane needs to grow the hell up. Neon Genesis is... There's a DVD set, but it's... I don't know, the last time I looked at it on Amazon, it was like $200. And there are newer film versions that are kind of redos of it. I like the episodic version better, personally. Yeah, and I think this is kind of the kind of moment of, where Zidane kind of figures out who he is, that he can't be selfish, he can't be immature. We've commented on a couple of streams of this game about how childish he is, and I mean, these characters are 16 years old. I mean, you have to remember that, but at the same time, he's also very much a brat. And notice Steiner has finally kind of accepted them as a maybe couple. Notice he kind of turns away and lets them have their moment, whereas previously he would have probably made that hand gesture again. Hey, Steiner's gonna end up with Beatrix, so he makes out fine in the end. He'll be fine. But I really see playing this as an adult, Steiner's growth is very interesting. That's been one of the interesting things, kind of playing this for the podcast has been playing games that I played not so much as a kid necessarily, like that's a whole different thing, but games that I played when I was like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old versus now, it's such a different life experience, and I have such a different perspective on these games in general. And as we were talking about on a previous stream, I think this is a very grown-up game, despite starring, this is kind of the real beginning of, where, it's, I mean, and I guess 8 was too, but like a bunch of teenagers, saving the world kind of thing in these games. And in Final Fantasy games, rather. And I think I still see, being, a bunch of years later, this game came out in 2000, so 18 years later, I have some distance to this that I think, helps a lot. And now Zidane's gonna go try to get him. I love the idea in this game, too, of all of these, these forests and nature that is alive, we saw the Evil Forest early in the game. And Ifritry. I think that's so interesting. And we're going to get all Matrixy. And then we're going to crash. Phew. And Kuja is, of course, miraculously not dead yet. Bring out your dead! I'm not dead yet! Man, I referenced Monty Python in a class a couple years ago, and I don't think a single student knew what it was. That's kind of a bummer. Although people involved with Monty Python have come out with some real, really craptacular hot takes lately, so maybe it's for the best. A lot of yucking it up about the young people and the safe spaces and all. Yeah, they do kind of look alike, huh? Hey, I'll be back in like 1 minute. Puzzles run around a circle in the other room. Let me just go see what he's doing. Okay. He's, I don't know. He was jumping from his perch to the bed and back and forth. It was weird. It took trying to destroy a planet for Kuja to get some, development. Yeah. Seriously, dude. So, meanwhile, and here's where we get into the real ending. And oh wait, it's the opening scene of the game, except there's going to be a swerve in a second. Vivi had a litter. And they're all heading to the movies, or the theater, just like at the beginning of the game. And then Freya finds her man. Oddly enough, he still sort of has amnesia. I feel like this plot point could have been developed a little better. But they're back together, so yay. And this is kind of an odd point, too, where, you know, Beatrix is going to kind of peace out. And then for a third playthrough over the last 18 years, I didn't really do much with Amaranth. Quina, I think, is a undervalued member of your team. In this run through, I used a lot of his blue magic, which I'd never really done before. In the 2 other times I've gone through this game. And Sid and his wife adopt Aiko. I wish they developed this a little bit too, a little more. It's always kind of there in the background once you get to like disc like 2.5. But I wish they'd done more. I wish they'd done more with Beatrix in general. She's a very cool character. It sure reminds me of almost like a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of character. I think a big theme in this game too is experience. And what that means. And we get Steiner and Beatrix. And we're right back where we started with the theater ship. And Cornelia is pretty likely a nod to, Cordelia from King Lear. As I was saying, there's a lot of King Lear references in this game. There's a lot of Shakespeare references in general. Shakespeare and Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm into that. Of course, in Lear, there are 3 daughters, though. Hmm. Oh, yes, there are 2 moons. And surprise! I love how they animate her running, like kind of stumbling through the crowd. Like it's so imperfect. And the crowd not, most of the crowd until that person not really realizing like who she is and that she's there. I think that's really good. All the little Vivis, and Aiko, and Quina, and Freya. Beatrix and Steiner. And the end. And thus ends Final Fantasy IX. One of my favorite Final Fantasies. I still like 4 better. As we talked about in the podcast, I think 4... I kind of connect with the characters in 4 a little more. Even though it's a very kind of straightforward, linear plot. I think I just like it. I like Rosa and Cecil better. But this is, and at the time it was a real kind of return to form and a series that had, I think especially with 8 gotten a bit off track. And this game was also kind of a goodbye to the old days before Final Fantasy X kind of brought in the more modern Final Fantasy game that I don't really like. But in the early days, this series was really, really important to me. Especially the first game. it came out right at the time when I was getting into D&D and fantasy novels, and it was really just the kind of perfect storm. And then 2 and, well, what we got is 2 and 3, and then 7, which we'll get to at some point. We'll play 7. And then let's not talk about 8. And then 9. I mean, this just, was just really delightful when it came out. And this game, I think has one of the, and I think we talked about this on a podcast episode, has one of the best versions of the battle theme. It has one of the best versions of the end theme that you're going to hear in a second, when the song ends. That at the end of a couple of podcast episodes, we've played variations of the Final Fantasy end theme music, particularly on mixtapes. When we're not playing additional music from Legend of Zelda games, we're usually playing Final Fantasy ending music, because it's so iconic. In fact, the first time I went through this game, I was in a fairly rough patch, and when that familiar music swelled, it just killed me. It just absolutely just murdered me. Because video games are important and stuff, in spite of what normies say and shitheads who try to ruin everything. This stuff matters. And that's sort of the point of the podcast, is it's a hell of a big part of me. Yeah, here it comes. Yeah, there's so much action in this game. That was what was cool in this era of all these like kind of high res scenes. You could really show some cool stuff. Always desire a woman that is so happy to see you that she punches you. find those familiar crystals. And some familiar music as well. No epilogue like in 7 or anything. Okay, so what time is it? 8:13. A couple of announcements. So our next RPG, now that we've wrapped up Final Fantasy IX, drum roll, is going to be Suikoden 2. I got my PS3 up and streaming last night, because remember, the PS3 is a little more difficult to get streaming, but I got it working last night, and in fact I tried it again today. I kind of pulled it apart and put it back together, and it worked. I kind of had to swap out a couple cables, so this weekend I gotta go buy some more cables. But it worked. Everything sounds good, at least on that game. I tried a couple games that it didn't work, because I had this realization that, holy shit, we could do a Mass Effect stream, but I couldn't get the sound to work, so I gotta play around with it. But keep that in the back of our minds, that we can do a Mass Effect stream. Holy shit, it's gonna be insane. But Suikoden 2 it is, which is, I did one playthrough of that game. Retronauts just did an episode about the series in general, which kind of inspired me to say, hey, I think that's the one we're gonna do. And then after that, I think we'll probably swing back to FF7. We might as well. So that's announcement 1, and what we'll do is next Thursday we'll get going with that. Announcement 2 is that I'm thinking about our streaming schedule heading towards the fall. The Monday through Thursday thing has been kind of an invention of the summer, when I have much more time. So here's what I've sketched out, and we'll transition to the schedule probably I'd say 3rd-ish week of August. Monday nights, 8 p.m., is going to be RPG night. So that would be, Suikoden 2. No stream on Tuesday, because, Sarah streams and some other people stream. Same with Thursday. Wednesday will remain retro game night. I've got a pretty good rotation down of what that will be. So for example, next Wednesday we are going to be streaming Mega Man X in celebration of the new Mega Man X collection that just came out, which I didn't pick up yet. We'll play it from, I guess from the SNES Classic, probably. So Wednesday will remain retro game night. The idea, the kind of pattern that I've emerged is that first Wednesday of the month will be different Mega Man games. We've still got a couple to go through, and then we're going to transition to Castlevania games. And we'll do Castlevania games that we haven't done yet, and there's, a whole bunch of those. And we're going to actually redo our Castlevania, I think at least our Castlevania 3 stream, because it didn't come out that well, and maybe our Castlevania 2 one also, because neither of them really came out that well, sound-wise. They kind of sound really shitty. Week 3 is then week 2 Wednesday is going to be a Genesis game. I have a big list of those. In August, it is going to be Streets of Rage 3. Since we did Streets of Rage 1 and we did Streets of Rage 2, we'll do the 3rd game in that series in August. Week 3, Wednesday, will be an NES game. I'm honestly not sure what we're going to do for that. And then week 4 will be a SNES game. In August, we will be doing F-Zero, because I think that'd be a pretty fun one to stream. I don't know if I want to do a podcast about it, but I think that would be a pretty fun one to stream. So, as I said, once we get to like mid-August, no Tuesday, Thursday streams. Because, Sarah streams and some other, Greg Seward streams, and there's a couple other people who stream on those days. So, okay, so new. Drum roll again. What I'm referring to as Friday Happy Hour stream, I don't know what that means yet. That's what is on my white... Maybe you can kind of see my whiteboard behind me that I have on my wall. 3:30-ish, again with the ish, it depends on when I get out of work, till about 5 o'clock. I'm thinking that'll be our new game day. So whatever we're playing at the time, currently, I guess that's Shadows of Adam, and we're gonna move through that pretty quick. It's a pretty short game, and I'm already a couple hours into it. I was playing it the other night for a little while longer. So I think that's what we're gonna do heading into the weekend. Try something a little different. But wait, there's more. So then, that all kind of combines together. The RPG night, the Sega night. We'll get back to Phantasy Star 3 at some point as well. We're almost through the first generation of that. Maybe that'll be like a weekend, like a random weekend game. The problem with Phantasy Star 3 is that there's so much grinding, and it on the stream, like, I always feel bad that there's been a couple streams already where it's been like, alright, well, before I go into this dungeon, I need to level up 3 levels, so yeah, let's hang out and grind, and that kind of sucks. So then, Sundays, we've been streaming around 5 p.m. a lot. We've been doing some Dragon's Dogma streams, and some other just kind of rando games. So here's what I'm thinking for Sundays. Stardew Valley Sundays. We're gonna do. So I'm playing Stardew. I did about... I don't know. I put about 15 hours into it, and then kind of put it aside, and I picked it back up again recently. And I think we're gonna stream that a little bit each week for like an hour, and you can get about, I'd say, about 3 or 4 game days, depending on when you go to sleep, out in that time. So I think that'll be a fun thing. And then usually after that, about 6 p.m. is when I record the podcast, so that'll be a nice segue into that. So Stardew Sundays. And then we might throw Phantasy Star 3 in there too, maybe a little earlier in the day as well. So we'll transition to that schedule. Yeah, like, I don't know, 3rd week in August, maybe a little after that, heading towards September, which would be cool. And podcast-wise, we have Super Mario Brothers coming out on August 1st. We did a nice podcast, or a nice stream of that last night, once I remembered that I had save states. And next up is going to be, in the middle of the month in August, will be Mega Man 5. And I'm not sure exactly what it'll be in September. And then in October, we're going to do Resident Evil on October 1st. And then on October 15th, we're going to do Super Castlevania for the podcast. Some Halloween horror-themed games. And we'll probably stream some stuff like that throughout the month too. So, all right, that wraps up Final Fantasy IX. This was fun. We'll have a podcast out about this game at some point. I have a lot of notes, and I still got some streams to go through to kind of take notes off of, so don't expect it for a while. Also, same with Phantasy Star, because I gotta go back through all that stuff. It's not like a stream where, like a Mega Man game, where I play the game for a couple hours and I already have my own notes, and I kind of go back through the video and write down some more notes and then type a script up. When you've been streaming for however many hours, we've probably done 10-15 hours of streams for this game, plus all the other time I put into it. Yeah, it's gotta take a lot more time. So, alright, we're gonna wrap this up for tonight. Sarah, I assume you're gonna be streaming pretty soon, so we'll definitely host that. And we had a whole bunch of new viewers, 4 or 5 new viewers tonight. Very cool. So, thus ends one of the best games ever. And yeah, it's just... Oh, it goes right back to the front. There's no New Game Plus. That'd be dope if there was. This is a bit before... Oh, what's this? Oh, look at that! Oh, they give you a movie gallery. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, you know what would be a cool video to do? To, like, kind of record some commentary for some of these. Like this one. I really love. And the one where Dagger cuts her hair off is really cool. Oh, that's really neat. And then what's this? Oh, it's some kind of card game. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the movie thing... Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, you could do some pretty cool videos with that, because this is such a high... You could really capture some nice stuff, and then this is... Oh, for language. Okay. Cool. Alright, so, thus ends Final Fantasy IX. And we'll be back next Thursday for the beginning of Suikoden 2. That's a little longer game, but it's a cool game. I really like it. So, all right, Sarah, we'll catch up with you in a little while on your stream, and then yeah, okay. So, talk soon.